Put in that word. Another one.
Hello, everybody. It's me, the Fantasy Typhoon, a.k.a. The Mentalist, a.k.a. your favorite analyst. I'm here to bring you week 4 recap, observations, just kind of let you into the mind of the Fantasy Typhoon, just giving you some notes that stuck out to me. Not recommendations. This is not a start sit. This is not a waiver wire show. This is just me going through all the games and just and then writing them down on notes and just sitting here bringing them to you, tried and true. Now, if you're new to this segment or to the Fantasy Typhoon Studios, to my channel, thank you for finding me however you found me. Thank you for coming in and watching. All I ask is that you like the content. Just subscribe, because we're trying to build a community here. I'm trying to get feedback from you to help me elevate the show, help me elevate things. I just bought a new microphone, bought new equipment, got new lighting. I'm back to the green screen. So I'm trying to elevate this thing. I want this channel to be right. I want you guys to help mold me and shape me into a better analyst as a presenter, bringing this information to you so you can understand and feel comfortable in how it's delivered. Because I have the content to give you. I just don't know how to really bring it to you presentable to keep your attention and to keep you locked and loaded. First off, I want to say shout out to my Reddit family, the Fantasy Football Reddit family. Thank you for welcoming me into your homes, and thank you for welcoming me into your page. And I got a lot of constructive criticism and a lot of likes and a lot of love, but I've taken it all, and hopefully you'll see that I was listening. So shout out to Reddit to my Reddit family. Thank you for accepting me in your fantasy football platform. Let's see. All right, let me tell you. The last video I did was, week 2. Week 3, my birthday came in week 3. I live here in Florida. We had a power outage. We had I don't want to call it a power outage, excuse me. I had power, not a power outage. It was some sort of internet outage. You couldn't really get service on my phone, and the internet was gone for about 3-4 days. So I couldn't rewatch week 3 like I wanted to, and I couldn't bring it to you. Then I had to go out of town for my birthday. I got to celebrate. So this one will be short. This will be a short video because I had to kind of rush through it, and I didn't get to put each game through my 42-point process so I could find things. I didn't have a chance to slow it down. I didn't have a chance to actually get in there like Typhoon usually does and take my time with each game and watch and bring those nuggets to you. So I'll be quick. Looking at the Joe Burrow game, Joe Burrow versus Cincinnati versus Jacksonville. Look, Joe Burrow's getting clobbered. I'm pretty sure you're already aware of that. He's getting hit way too much. The offensive line has to be a priority for the Cincinnati Bengals this offseason. Now, Joe Burrow is thorough. Joe Burrow is ready. I don't think this will beat the confidence out of him. He seems like an overcomer. He seems like a guy who is sure of himself. Not arrogant, but a guy that's sure of who he is, like I am. I'm not arrogant with it, but I'm sure of who I am as a fantasy analyst in this community. Mixon finally had a good day. And that was due to the Jags not really setting that edge. You keep mixing in between the A, B, C gaps, you pretty much got him contained for the day. But once you let him get outside contain, defensive end here, or the safety comes down, they're supposed to hold contain and keep shuffle the play in between here. But Mixon got outside, and that's where he did his damage at. So he got to the edge. So he went wide. That's how he had a monster day. He had a beautiful TD. Boyd had a beautiful TD from Joe Burrow that was called back. I was holding. So that took another TD from Boyd's fantasy day. AJ Green, double move. Man, it looked very bad. So, all right, now I know a lot of folks out there looking at the targets AJ Green is getting, and they're telling you to buy AJ Green off the targets. They're telling me you're not actually looking at AJ Green, because if you're actually looking at AJ Green, I was saying he was finished, but I said, okay, let me just, before I call this man finished, let me go back and do a deep dive in it. Went back, got some of my sources, and it comes back to me that he has a hurt wrist. But it's not showing up on the injury report. Also, he didn't really get into full training camp and all this and that. He didn't get into a full camp because of the hamstring. Then top that off with he didn't play all of last year. So, all right, AJ Green, I won't call you done yet. But on film, you look that way. But it could be just, hey, he's working the grease off. He's working the dust off. I've listened to head coach Zach Taylor. He wants to get him more involved. So they really have a high priority of making AJ Green into something this year. T. Higgins has elevated up the depth chart, kind of taking over the AJ Green role. But before I call him done, I will give him until week 9. If he doesn't have that 132 and a tub game by then, it's safe to go ahead and move on from him. I don't care how many targets he's getting. That tight end sample, he needs to be rostered. He needs to be rostered. Now, if you're in a 10-team league, redraft, don't worry about it. But if you're in a 12-team league and up, auction, redraft, keepers, dynasty, whatever, just go ahead and pick sample up. Kind of go ahead and lay him down on your bench. He could, like, let's say if you got T.J. Hawkinson or something as your tight end 1, he might have saved the day for that bye week. Let's see, Jacksonville. Now, here's the thing with Jacksonville. Now, I just did a video, New Eyes, episode 49, in my training tips videos. So if you want more in-depth on what I'm getting ready to go over here, you want the in-depth version, go to lesson 49 in my tips, tricks playlist. New Eyes is what it's called. A lot of players, man, if you're in Dynasty here, you need to watch everything you do with everything in Jacksonville. The head coach, Doug Marrone, offensive coordinator, Gruden, and the GM all should not be back next year. So what that means, there's new eyes coming into the situation. And your James Robinson, here's what's getting ready to happen. Burn James Robinson up this year. He's a good back. He's a serviceable back. He's a good back. He has the pop. He can catch. He has the pass pro, which are the elements you really need down to be a successful back in the NFL. But here's the thing. When a new coach come in, and they will, when that new coach comes in, he's going to look at his profile as far as a UDFA, and that coach is going to say, no, I'm not going to tie my new career as a head coach to a UDFA. That's just politics. It's just the way the NFL goes. So watch yourself with James Robinson going into 2021 season. Make sure he's off your roster by then. But right now, under the regime of Doug Marrone, Burn him up. He will win leagues this year. He is a running back. Just not going forward. All for the simple fact that a new regime is coming. Yep. When they blow this up, James Robinson is going to be on the other side because they're going to bring in a first round pick at running back or a second day running back. He's not going to tie his, and plus it's not an inside outside stretch zone system that they're running. They're running more of a power angle blocking system. So your UDFAs that hit like Arian Foster and Terrell Davis, they were in the inside outside stretch zone. What's his name? Under Shanahan for Redskins. Alfred Morris. Those type of guys that hit like that. Inside outside stretch. I see him more as an Alfred Morris. Beautiful. He'll come in, he'll pop, he'll be startable, he'll be good, but sooner or later he's just going to disappear. Laviska Shenault. Man, I like Laviska Shenault, but new eyes coming in. I don't know what they're going to see with him. So I like him. You like him. But do the new regime like him? And that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Moving on. Let's see. Which game? Carolina versus, who did they play? Arizona. Look, this Andy Isabella guy. Dynasty leagues, you need to have him on your watch list. You might want to go ahead and start sending your thirds out. Just go ahead and bring them in. But you got to wait. Andy Isabella, you got it. Here's what you're waiting for. You got Cliff Kingsbury in there. You got Kyler Murray in there. So you got sustainability as far as your regime. Your regime is in place. Both of those two are tied to the hip. So I don't foresee any changes as far as coaching and quarterback. So that's good. Now you're just waiting on Larry Fitzgerald to just say, hey man, I want to let this go. When he does that, Andy Isabella jumps over Christian Kirk. Yeah, I said it. Andy Isabella, it's D-Hop. It will be D-Hop, Isabella, then Kirk. But the media or social media will tell you it will be D-Hop, Kirk, then Isabella. Isabella is going to jump him. Isabella is good for this scheme. Hate to pick on you, hate to poke you, but I got to. Shame on you for Kenyon Drake in your first round. That was your fault. You saw the signs. That was on you. Let's go to Carolina. New regime in place. Here's a prime example. New regime in place. Who was the number one wide receiver? We all knew it was DJ Moore. That's what we knew it. New regime comes in. Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is your number one wide receiver there. Make no mistake about it. You can sit there and say, now remember, don't be a truther. Don't down the heel on the tape. Once you see the switch, once you saw that switch from DJ Moore over to Robbie Anderson, you should have been bailing on DJ Moore. Don't need to keep him and down the hill. Well, I'm a truther and all. No. The person that wins trades, the person that wins their dynasty league is the person that sees decline or ascension before the rest of your league mates. That's the guy. That's the guy who's dominating. Don't be sitting there, well, yeah, I like DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore. And you still holding DJ Moore. And you see the scheme moving away from him. Don't be that dude. Robbie Anderson is not just that deep threat like he was in New York. He's coming along. He's running comebacks. He's running outs. He's running posts. Running corners. They're doing wide receiver screens. His playbook has opened up under Joe Brady. Now let me talk about Joe Brady. Joe Brady is calling some good plays. You see sound play in Carolina. And they don't have the talent level to equate to all those wins, but you see what they're doing. They're doing within the system that they have. They're using the players that they have to the best of their abilities. So a player coming to Jacksonville coming to Carolina from this point forward, as far as in the draft, they can get some coaching they can get some nutrients to help them elevate and mature as an NFL player. So in your rookie drafts going forward, this is good soil for some of your rookie players to come in. So if you're in a tiebreaker between this player A and then player B in Carolina on your rookie drafts, maybe your third round or so, you might want to use that as a tiebreaker. You picked up Mike Davis, pat yourself on the back. He's sustaining. He's holding it. This is a prime example of when your CMC goes down, your RB1 goes down, and you got the backup. Pat yourself on the back. A lot of folks say don't handcuff. Hey, if you handcuffed in this situation, you are sustaining until CMC returns. Pat yourself on the back. Job well done. You didn't let me get him and let me line up against you with Mike Davis in my lineup. So that's good. Let's see. All right, let's move on to something I wrote down about Marquis Brown right quick. This dude is there. The plays are there. The fantasy points are there. I see him. But the connection from Lamar Jackson to Marquis Brown is not being made. Marquis Brown is open. 60-yard touchdown. Just hit me. Ball is 5 yards in front of him. That's a 60-yard touchdown Marquis Brown could have had last week. He didn't get it. The relationship, the rapport, Jackson is failing him. Marquis Brown has had a lot left on the table for the simple fact that Lamar Jackson can't get it to him appropriately. Marquis Brown was tackled at the 1 yard line, so he had that was a two-tub. He had a two-tub 180-yard day taken away from him. All right, let's go to the Colts and Chicago. Man, look, if you have a player starting against the Colts defense, you might want to think twice about starting that player and going elsewhere and trying to do a plan B. These guys are everywhere. Hands are everywhere. They're playing sound football. They tackle in the open field. They're draped all over the wide receivers when it's time to make a catch, and they're getting those hands in there, and they're not getting called for pass interference. They're not getting flags. These guys are playing football. Mo Alec Cox, he's a bull, man. That guy's a bull. In this particular game, as soon as Nyheim Hines stepped in, Phillip Rivers started the old check down Phillip Rivers. But when Jonathan Taylor was in the game, he wasn't really check down Phillip Rivers. I hope that makes sense. Didn't have too much on Chicago. Just didn't really have too much on Chicago. Nothing really popped out to me. Let's go to Buffalo versus Las Vegas Raiders. Look, man, I love Singletary. Singletary is a talented running back. He's just in the wrong place. He's in the wrong place. For him to be that dude that you drafted, that you will envision, he's capped. Look, this is another organization, Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. They're doing a great job. They know what their offense needs. They know what their defense needs. They know what type of team they want to be. They have a vision, and they know what players they need. They went and brought in Stephon Diggs. They went and brought in John Brown. They went and brought in Cole Beasley. They went and brought in guys and using them in their skill sets. Stephon Diggs is balling. That's all due to the coaching staff spending time, I think it's the ball, spending time with Josh Allen. They fixed Josh Allen, then brought in the groceries. Kind of like what they're getting ready to do in Miami. I don't know if you're paying attention to that or not. This draft, 2020 draft, they went all in on defense. They left Devontae Parker in place. They left Preston Williams in place. They went and traded for Matt Breida and Jordan Howard. They brought them in. Why, Typhoon? They wanted to bring the defense in to get the defense pumped up because they have a first-year quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa. So what they're doing, they're going to bring in Tua at some point in time. They're going to sit Ryan Fitzpatrick, bring in Tua. And when they bring in Tua, what's about to happen is they're getting ready to see who Tua is. With Devontae Parker, with Preston Williams, with Mike Gesicki, Matt Breida, and Jordan Howard. See how he works with those type guys. Then, this year's draft, the 2021, is going to be an offensive draft. That's when they're getting ready to go buy the groceries for Tua to fit his skill set. Kind of like I was saying what they're doing in Buffalo. So if Buffalo brings in a guy, skill guy, you might want to go ahead and try to scoop that guy up because they know they already have a plan for him. They're making excellent roster moves. The ball is going to every blade of grass. They're doing post, corners. They're doing the whole route tree. They're doing 0 to 9 on the route tree as far as where that ball is going. It's going to the left, to the right, to the middle, to the side, to the upper half, to the back half, to the hash, to the flat, to the end, behind the line of scrimmage. They are using every blade of grass on the field in Buffalo. Raiders, they miss Henry Ruggs. The running game misses Ruggs. Now, Ruggs came out week 1. The playbook was open. Ruggs was doing everything in the playbook. He was looking like, okay, he's taking everything that they drawed up for Antonio Brown looked like they was like, all right, let's just template. Let's put Ruggs' name on it. Let's stamp it. Let's move it over to Ruggs. The Ruggs, you got Antonio Brown's job. That's what it looked like. Ruggs got hurt first game. He went to the locker room, came back, and then that point on, from that game and then the second game against the Saints, he was used as a decoy. But that decoy was good enough to keep Josh Jacobs from them loading the box on Josh Jacobs. So you can, let's say if Ruggs doesn't do what we want him to do for fantasy, you can't call him a bust for the simple fact he's doing what they need him to do for the Raiders. So if you're a Josh Jacobs owner, you want Ruggs on the field. When you see Ruggs, he's practicing in full this week, by the way, so you'll get him back. I like Ruggs, so I think he's going to be a top talent. But if he doesn't, he's still worth his weight in gold for the simple fact he's making Josh Jacobs. He's opening those lanes for Josh Jacobs. Derek Carr, he's fumbling too much. He needs to do like Eli Manning or Brady does at times. When it's evident that the play is over and there's nothing there, he needs to just fall. Just fall. You see the defensive lineman coming, just fall on the ground, give yourself up, give the play up. Don't sit there and try to do anything because you're going to fumble. His hands might be small. I didn't look up his hand size, but he is fumbling way too much over nothing. He threw a beautiful TD pass to Nelson Aguilar, but it was called back for holding. Jason Witten got a score, so we had a Witten sighting. I got a couple of more, and then I got two more games, and then that's really all I had the time for this week, folks. But I'll come back full-fledged for you week 5 review. So like I said, if you like what you're hearing thus far, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Stay with me, talk to me, let's interact, let's grow this community. Once I get to 1,000, I'm able to unlock this thing. I can do calls, I can set it up to where we can roll in. We can do start sets. I can be right there. I'm just a phone call away at that point. David Johnson. Now, a lot of folks, you're looking at the box score, you see David Johnson, you be like, oh man, he's trash. But that's not the picture. That's just 1/4 of the picture. Just like we're 1/4 through the season, we got a whole lot of football left. But if you're looking at the box score, you think David Johnson is done because you're missing a whole lot of the other side of the information. That's what I'm here to bring. I don't think folks service enough outside of the box score. That's why I'm trying to find my niche here. Give you more than what that box score is really giving you, because that box score is just 1/4 of what's really going on. You look at David Johnson, they're running him straight up the middle, A-B gaps, and it's closed. It is closed. They are closed for business. There's nothing there. So when you're looking at the box score, you're looking at your fantasy points, you're like, oh man, let me trade David Johnson. He's trash. David Johnson looks good. David Johnson is an excellent running back. He's just in a scheme, in a system right now where the offensive line just sucks. So now that Bill O'Brien is out the door, now let's see if they can give him some toss pitches and some pitches or something. Give him some nice little screens on the outside, some 3-count screens, or let him run some arrow routes, some Texas routes, some pivots, some wheels. That's coming. And then you're going to see him uptick on somebody else's roster after you traded him because you're looking at the box score. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to save you from that. Hold on to David Johnson. His days are coming. The guy can ball. O-line is just horrible. Watson is running around for his life. So if you own Watson, you got to wait because that will change. They need offensive line help bad. I think they need it more than Cincinnati. So it's week 5, but one thing about Houston, I'm looking for an identity. Who are you? You know, you look at the Minnesota Vikings. First thing coming to your mind is Dalvin Cook. We run the ball. You see what I'm saying? They need an identity on who they are. You look at Baltimore Ravens. We run the ball. You see what I'm trying to say? Who are you? I don't care what you do. Just who are you? They haven't shown that identity yet. Now, that's good because I can transition right into Minnesota. They are a running team. Dalvin Cook is your guy. If you drafted Dalvin Cook, let's say most drafts went CMC, Barkley, Zeke, Kamara. I'm talking about running backs. Then you got Elaire, Jacobs. Now, if you took Cook before Elaire, right after Kamara, you took Cook right there, pat yourself on the back. Or if you took Cook later than that, pat yourself on the back. Cook's a top 4-5 running back. Fantasy-wise, he's in a great system, inside-outside stretch. It fits him well. They use him at the goal line. He catches passes. It's his job. He just signed. I don't know about Zimmer's job being super safe, but he's safe now for at least the next 2 years because he just did a 3-year extension. So you got Kubiak in the building. They're going to fix this as far as winning and losses, but I'm talking about Cook. It's his job, and they run the ball. That's where you want your running backs from. And I don't know what's happening to Irv Smith Jr. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no answer for that. I have no answer. That dude should be balling. But here's a little note, and I'll say this. Justin Jefferson is already better than Adam Thielen. I know y'all going to kill me for that, but hey, time to really tell on that one. That dude is a baller. Let's move on to the Rams versus the Giants. And this is my last one, and I'll wrap it up. Like I was saying on week 2, they're trying to give it to Cam Akers, but outside circumstances has just hindered him to the point where Darrell Henderson has just come along and Malcolm Brown has just come along to where now this is a full-fledged committee. even though they might start Akers, but a couple of bad runs from Akers, they're going straight to Henderson. Henderson has shown that he's a serviceable back. Malcolm Brown has shown that he's a serviceable back. So what that means, Cam Akers got to show that he's more than serviceable. So watch out on your Cam Akers shares. They could wipe all this out next year and go get another running back. Because remember, when you're looking at LA Rams, this whole system as far as the offense is revolved around the running game. That running game has to be on point, Christine. That running back system is the cog that makes that makes Woods run, that makes Higbee, Everett, Van Jefferson, Cup, all them over here. They don't move until that running back turns the wheel to move. Let's move on to, let's move on to the Giants right quick, and then we'll wrap it up with the Giants. My battery's about to die. That offense is just horrendous. It's bad design. It's a bad install. It's not good for the players. And on top of that, they're not executing it well. So it's coaching. I don't know if Judge. I don't know if I would keep Judge. I wouldn't hire him in the first place. He's a Belichick wannabe. I don't want a Belichick wannabe. If I want Belichick, I'll just go hire Belichick. If I bring you in, Joe, if I bring you in Flores, if I bring you in Bill O'Brien, if I bring you in Vrabel, or all the other wannabe Bill Belichick, I don't want you. Or Matt Patricia. I want Belichick, if that's the case. So Flores might be the only one that really succeeded. Now, Bill O'Brien excelled. I'm not going to sit here and dump on him. He went to the playoffs continuously. But Flores, once they go buy those groceries, and let's see what Tua is first before I talk. Hold on. Let me see what Tua is first. Now, back to the Giants so we can go home. It's horrible. This is just horrible all the way around, from execution to designing it, to installing it, to coaching it, and then it don't fit the players. It's just bad. So you need to trash it. That's what you need to do in New York. I still believe in Daniel Jones though. Now Daniel Jones in a 1 QB league, no. Daniel Jones in Superflex, yeah. I'm all over that. I'm all over Daniel Jones. Devonta Freeman, he wasn't a world beater. I didn't think he would be a world beater, but he is better than serviceable. I was surprised at that. So with that being said, make sure if you like what you heard, make sure you come on board and ride with me in the Fantasy Typhoon Studios, a.k.a. the Fantasy Typhoon. Email me questions at thefantasytyphoon@hotmail.com. Thank you for listening. But if you like what you heard, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Make sure you like it. Make sure you hit that notification button so every time I go live or every time there's an update on videos, boom, you already know. But once again, it's the Fantasy Typhoon, a.k.a. the Mentalist, a.k.a. your favorite analyst. We're signing off from the Fantasy Typhoon Studios. I will return for Week 5 recaps, observation, and hopefully there's no internet outage or there's no, I don't know what you call it, no airwave outage. And I can get in there and get into the film room and I can come give you those nuggets that you desperately want and deserve to help keep you in front of your league mates and help to keep you dominating in your fantasy football leagues. We gone.